Hey guys, welcome to episode 21 of Ask Jungle Scout. I hope you've enjoyed the series so far. If you're not familiar, this is the show where we answer your top questions on selling on Amazon, Jungle Scout, product research, and everything in between. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel below so that you never miss an episode. So the first question is from Tarziccio. I apologize if I've got that wrong. Can I still start a successful business with only 1,000? So thanks for the question. And the short answer is yes, you can start with only 1,000. But I want to stress that the more that you can invest upfront, the quicker your business is going to grow. So let's say that you want to order in 500 to 1,000 units at the start. If you can get them for anywhere between $3 to $5 per unit, $2,000 is probably like a really good amount to start out with. Yes, you can start with smaller amounts, but it means you're going to have less inventory when you start. Now, the only issue with this is that it's going to slow your growth, because one of the best things that you should do at the start of a product launch is do some product giveaways. So reduce your price to a discount so that you can increase the sales. So by the time you allow units for your promotional giveaway, and then once you get selling, you need to start selling enough units that you then have enough money, enough cash flow from those sales in order to be able to order in the next shipment before it runs out. If you only have $1,000 to start with, you're probably only going to get 200 or 300 units of inventory, which by the time you run a promotional giveaway, then you start to sell, it'll take you a little while to have enough cash flow back in order to order in more inventory. And so by the time you get that next order in, you're probably going to run out, or it's going to be very hard to stay in stock unless you invest more money in. So it just means that your growth will be a little bit slower if you've only got $1,000 in most cases. You might be able to find a product that you can source for $1 or $2. In that case, maybe $1,000 would be okay. So to sum up, the more you can invest at the start, the quicker your business will grow. I feel that $2,000 is a good amount to start if you can afford it. However, that being said, starting with a smaller amount is better than not starting at all. Okay, I'm not trying to say that you have to wait till you've got $2,000 to spend. If your funds are very limited and you do only have $1,000 to invest or to risk, then I would definitely say go for it. It's better to start than to not start at all. Hattie asks, sometimes Amazon sellers ask their supplier to modify a generic product to differentiate from the market. In this case, is there a way to prevent the supplier from selling the modified version to other customers, or does brand registry help here? So this one's a little bit tricky. Depending on the factory, they may honor this. There's no real way to enforce kind of any agreement. What I'd suggest is putting an agreement in place, but it really will depend on the factory and your relationship with them. If you're a good customer, you've been with them for a while and you've got good rapport, then they may honor it. However, I don't think there's really any way to enforce this. One other thing you might be able to try if you're a little worried about this is to put in an agreement that when your mold isn't being used, the one that you've got them to create specifically for you, to get them to store it somewhere off-site while it's not being used. However, I don't know, it might be a little bit of a headache to organize and do this, so personally I probably wouldn't worry, but it may be worth trying if you're a little bit worried about this. Hattie also asks, if an Amazon seller who brand registered their trademark with Amazon was the first to launch a new generic unmodified product on Amazon, can other sellers still buy this product to sell it on Amazon since initially it is generic? Okay, so first I just want to start by saying that I'm not a lawyer and this is not legal advice at all. We do also have a really great webinar as part of the $1 Million Case Study, session number 4, where we had a patent lawyer come in and talk about patents and trademarks for Amazon products. So I definitely recommend checking that one out, and it'll also have the link below this video. So to start with, trademarks are more for brand names and logos, not so much for a product. So you can't really trademark an actual product, to my understanding. What you could do, you can actually patent a product or technology. However, I don't think you would be able to do that in this case, even with a generic product, because you didn't create it. Only the sort of creator of that product could patent it. So the short answer to your question is no, I don't believe that that is possible. However, you would need to take it up with a lawyer if you're looking at doing this with a specific product. Arturo asks, I saw one of your videos where you advised to look for a category where it would be easier to rank #1 and get the bestseller sticker. My question is, would this method affect the way that customers find your product? Since we're looking to rank for a category that is not our exact main category, could it change the way people find you? Thanks for the question, Arturo. So what he's referring to is a little trick that you can try where you look at all the different subcategories within your sort of parent main category. So let's say you're in home improvement and you're selling like a hammer. So then look at the best-selling products in each of these subcategories and find out which subcategory has the lowest selling product. Because if you then put your product in that category and you get more sales than that product, you have a better chance of winning the bestseller badge. So I just want to preface that with, I only recommend you do this in categories that are related to your product. If you're selling a hammer, I wouldn't put it in like a beauty category just because you can rank better there. So I definitely would recommend making it still relevant to your product, but you might have a little bit of wiggle room and moving into a subcategory that's easier to rank in. Now Arturo is asking, will this affect the way that customers find you because you're now in a slightly different category? It may not be the category that they would look into in order to find your product. I feel that no, this won't really affect the way that customers find you because most customers will just type in keywords to find the products they're after. Most customers aren't going to be clicking onto the categories and seeing what the best-selling products are within the categories. I'm sure there are some that do, but I think, most customers are just going to go into Amazon.com, type in the keyword for the product they're after, and find the product they want based off of a keyword search, which isn't affected by the category that you're in. Alexi asks, I noticed that Jungle Sticks and Jungle Snugs are sold under respective brands. Under new Amazon rules per session 9 of the $1 Million Case Study, I assume you would have had to trademark each brand if you weren't grandfathered in. Is there an advantage of creating a separate brand like that for each product versus having a single brand like Jungle Brands and rolling all the products under that brand to save on trademark costs? Thanks for the question, Alexi. No, there isn't really any advantage to having multiple brands selling under the one store, other than just the flexibility of being able to do that. At the time that Jungle Sticks was created, you were able to have those multiple brands under the one store and still get brand registry for each. However, now things have changed. Now that you do need a trademark for every different brand that you have, if you want brand registry, it probably does make a lot more sense just to have one brand name. So I would suggest moving forward, if you're looking at a number of products, try to come up with a brand name that is fairly universal that will allow you to sell lots of different products and be fairly flexible with your product line. Mela asks, I have seen that you're offering the product for $17.95. I'm assuming that you'll be increasing the price at a later point in time as you are marketing the product as a premium. Is reducing the price in the beginning an effective strategy for ranking more quickly, or how does it all play out? Thanks for the question, Mela. So what they're referring to here is the $1 Million Case Study, where we're doing a public product launch of baby hooded towels. Now in session 17 of the case study, which I'll put the link below this video, Greg actually does give an update on why the price was set to $17.95. So when the product first launched, it was set to $24.95, and that is more the price that we want to sell it in the long term. However, at the start, the initial goal is just to get sales velocity. If you go back and you watch the $1 Million Case Study, you'll see that we've gone through a product launch stage, we've set up PPC campaigns, we've done promotional giveaways, but while the listing is still very new and we're trying to get reviews and more importantly sales, Greg decided to drop the price temporarily to $17.95. So to answer your question, yes, dropping your price early on is a good strategy to keep the sales going at an earlier time. However, one thing that Greg mentioned is that it's kind of tricky because you don't want to lower the price too much for too long, because you could potentially drive down the price of all the listings in the market. Because if everyone else is priced above you and you go cheaper, they will end up going down cheaper than you in order to compete, and eventually you drive the price down for everyone. So yes, you do need to be mindful of that. And as Greg explains in session number 17, he's only going to leave it at $17.95 just until the rankings get a little bit better, until they start to rank in perhaps the top half of page 1 for their main keywords. And then they're going to start raising the price up, hopefully to about $25 or maybe $23, because as you said, it is being marketed as a premium product. So yes, lowering the price at the start is a good marketing strategy, but just be careful to use it in small doses. So that's all the questions for today, guys. I hope you found those answers useful. Please keep sending them in. If you'd like me to answer a question, make sure just to pop it in the comment section below this video. Also, you've heard me mention the $1 million case study a few times in today's video, so make sure you check that one out. It's a fantastic resource, particularly if you're just starting out. You can follow along with us, and from product research all the way up to launching and optimizing a listing. So definitely check that one out. The link is in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel as well if you haven't already. And until next week, all the best with your product research. Happy jungle scouting. I'll see you then.